The wisdom of teams. Chapter 1. Real teams go farther than individuals on a project. In its simplest form, the idea of teamwork is a story of a leader and followers. For the people who end up becoming team leaders, there's natural and inborn resistance against being accountable for others. The followers, teammates, will prefer to struggle for personal success than put effort into collective projects and teamwork. But this summary teaches that both ideologies need adjustments. Leaders ought to be accountable, and individuals will perform much better when working as a team. Real teams do not develop until the people in them work hard to overcome barriers that stand in the way of collective performance. Jon R. Katzenbach and Douglas. By gathering information about several successful teams, you will learn to be a helpful teammate and know what is needed to succeed in a group, and that's what this summary will show you. The lessons will also help you if you're a leader. Although team experiences can bring great results, sometimes they can be a colossal waste of time. The truth remains that the quality of output a team brings forth is proportional to the kind of people that make up the team. The personal development and growth of team members can and does positively affect the result of teams. Real teams, as the authors call them, have some secret ingredients for their success. One of such is that everyone in the team takes up responsibilities. In other words, every team member shows commitment by getting involved. Accountability is another critical requirement vital for a team's performance, which goes hand in hand with discipline, because a person who is accountable to someone tries hard to stay on track. Two things happen when teammates are accountable. Everyone stays in order. The team runs smoothly. In general, this summary describes how team members can lay a concrete foundation for the three building blocks of every team: commitment, accountability, and skill. You will learn how to focus on collective projects, personal development, and overall general performance. Did you know? Having too many people in a team can bring about a reduced sense of accountability and performance. Chapter 2. Teams are more progressive and successful than groups. A group is simply a number of people who organize their efforts. On the other hand, a team forms as a result of disciplined action and a strong will to work together and pursue a common objective. Teams are more effective because they have specified performance objectives. 99 successful team approaches are unique because of what is achieved collectively and what each team member learns in the process. Jon R. Katzenbach. Let's share a short story illustrating the importance of teamwork and a good company structure. Railway Company Burlington Northern, Inc. wanted to venture into intermodal transportation using trains and trucks to serve customers in the 1980s better. But this was something completely new, and people didn't believe it would work well. The company was, however, ready to take chances on the new business model. They created a department for it, and the head of marketing asked operations overseer Bill Greenwood to take over the unit. Greenwood instantly accepted because he believed it would bring the organization to the limelight. But it wasn't easy to achieve anything because there was no proper structure. What did Bill Greenwood do to make headway? He created a solid and motivated team. Together, they worked to overcome the organization's marketing challenge, improve overall performance, and take the business to another level. A group is too large to function as a team if it contains more than 30 people. The intermodal team's dedication eventually helped them succeed. Each person took the project personally and practiced togetherness, making their efforts fruitful and quickly recognizable. Teams like this succeed because focusing on performance helps them quickly identify challenges and how to solve them. Team members have a great sense of mutual accountability and respect. Each individual's sense of ownership promotes development. Development is hastened when members acquire the knowledge and demeanor needed to drive the team forward. For this to happen, leaders must be deliberate about who to choose as a team member. So, they ought to make skill and humility key factors when forming a team to ensure that their unit has complementary skills and the drive to fulfill its purpose. Chapter 3. Learn to foster commitment and knowledge sharing. Teams can achieve their collective goals if they stay committed to a common purpose. But being unable to focus or work with a steady plan can tear a team apart and make them revert to performances that are below par. 4. Have a goal when forming teams, but also ensure that everyone you bring on board already has some interest in what you're trying to achieve. It's not always easy to accomplish goals. If it were, everyone in the world would probably be successful. But with the right strategy, you can build your goal getting muscle and achieve incredible milestones. Let's look at a simple framework that can help. Get specific with goals. Most organizations and subunits within organizations know exactly what they want to achieve in the future. The hard part is getting started and actually completing that. But they could overcome this hurdle by breaking daunting goals into specific fragments. You might need to meet with key people in the unit and decide how to break down your giant goals and develop a plan for tracking performance on these sub-goals. Apart from specificity, team goals need to be clear and realistic. Overambitious plans generally have counter effects as they're difficult to pursue and can make teams less productive. Thirdly, every member must know the team's purpose to work accordingly. If a team member seems out of context, they should be kindly called to order. The final point is to ensure your team goals align with the organization's overall objectives for that season. Confirm with management whenever you're unsure of how you can contribute to the bottom line. Chapter 4. You can't separate high performance from continuous education. There are 3 categories of skills that need to be present in every team: technical and functional skills, problem-solving skills, communication and interpersonal skills. Part of your task as a team lead is understanding the skill level of each member on your team. This is why we mentioned that functional teams shouldn't exceed 30 members. You can know everyone well in groups. As you seek to understand your team members, you'll realize they're all at different skill levels. You'll find most people are highly proficient at some skills and perform poorly at others. What should you do? As much as possible, create an environment where everyone can learn and improve their skills. This will be easier if your team members are excited about their jobs and interested in personal growth. Speed is important, but not as important as direction. Try not to spend your resources chasing the wrong things. Organizations should also invest in training employees in the necessary areas they are lacking instead of allowing people to learn independently. For instance, companies like General Electric, Enron, and Motorola usually ensure employees get enough opportunities to learn and improve. They even sponsor some of their workers through short-term education programs that will help them perform better. Education aside, a real team is expected to develop rules of conduct to help it achieve its desired purpose and performance goals. The most important rules include attendance, total attention during discussions, confidentiality, constructive confrontation, and positive organizational contributions. There is immense power when a group of people with similar interests gets together to work toward the same goals. Iru koyenikan. Did you know? Companies that provide extensive onboarding to employees tend to have more high-performing teams. Chapter 5. Many teams suffer from the lack of managerial support and the presence of unskilled members. You sure have had your fair share of experiences in the team you work with? And will admit that the lack of support from management or dealing with unskilled workers is the worst of all obstacles a team can face. Recall the Burlington Northern Intermodal team we mentioned in a previous chapter. That wasn't the whole story. The team faced weak support from their management, bad weather, and aggressive competition. They also had to battle policies against their advertisement and a lot of mediocre talent in the department. All these tried to slow them down, but the leader, Bill Greenwood, stood his ground and worked hard to encourage the team to stay strong. And they did. You may encounter similar challenges or something more unique, but hang in there and stay true to your purpose. Teams differ in strength, but a real team learns to adapt to any form of challenge. You can help your people get over challenges by focusing on smashing small goals, seeking exposure to different approaches, implementing outside counselor training, and triggering a renewed team focus on performance. One common obstacle most teams seldom plan for and sometimes face is disbandment. For some teams, the endings are planned, while they're spontaneous for others. Some experience unwanted and traumatic disbandment, while others feel relief and excitement. The reality is that whatever type of ending a team faces, it should make one of these decisions. The team hands over their tasks to another team as they end while ensuring that this other team will implement them. They only give final recommendations and leave. The team's decision depends on how the organization has been structured, but it's important to know that performance can be lost if transitions are not handled properly. Teams can be more successful if they learn to build resilience by facing challenges rather than running from them. Chapter 6. The role of top management in team growth involves relentlessly pushing for performance. Result-oriented teams hate getting stuck because it slows them down. However, a school of thought argues that it is good for teams to stay stuck for a while, as this may help them learn to overcome challenges on their own without external help. That said, senior management and executives play a vital role in growing successful teams within their organizations. If management plays their parts well, real teams in that organization will have better chances at excellent performance. Constructive conflict from management and incentives for hard work can help enhance openness, trust, interdependence, and mutual accountability within teams. Depending on the organization's structure and tasks, top management may not have time to focus on all groups and departments. In situations like that, a good idea is to pay attention to those teams that bring the most significant returns. The authors believe there are 3 categories of teams in any organization: the teams that run things, the teams that make things, and the teams that recommend things. The teams that run things are those responsible for key activities within the organization. These teams don't have precise end dates as their activities seem endless. These are the teams that management should pay more attention to. As the name suggests, the teams that do things are at the front line. Their activities include product development, sales, and marketing. This category also doesn't have clear completion dates. There can be exceptions, though. Teams that recommend things have precise completion dates. They're set up for special situations and given very clear tasks. Common examples include task forces responsible for auditing and quality control. These teams are delicate because they don't usually last long. Management should plan 2 things to increase their chances of success: getting the teams off to a good start and handling their disbandment properly. Irrespective of the groups they focus on, management should always have a system for measuring the productivity of all teams and departments within the organization. Real teams are said to thrive on obstacles. However, management has to distinguish between the teams that are ready to work towards overcoming their barriers and those that have given up or whose capacity can no longer carry them. Jon R. Katzenbach and Douglas. Chapter 7. Conclusion. Teams are an essential part of any organization. They uniquely work hand in hand and pull together the skills, experiences, and insights needed to achieve their objectives. They can bring outstanding accomplishments to societies, organizations, businesses, political offices, and more. The benefits of teams are innumerable, but the ability to increase and strengthen performance for tangible results is notable. Apart from the benefits to the organization, effective teams will help everyone on board to improve their skills because interacting with like-minded people naturally helps you grow. But it's not easy to build highly productive teams. You need a visionary and dedicated leader plus members willing to put their all towards a mutual purpose. Some teams are regarded as shy performance because they surpass all doubts and can perform better than other teams. The Burlington Northern's intermodal team that we examined in the summary is a good example of such a team, and they were only 7 in number. High-performance teams are usually more effective when they have a small number of people with the required skills, a perfect understanding of their purpose, and an accountability system. Their degree of commitment, civility, and teamwork sets them apart. To wrap up, teams are a great source of motivation and personal development. A team needn't comprise many people, only just a few ready to work. Most teams will get disbanded someday, but the most important thing is that they fulfill their purpose before they do. High-performing teams use deliberate intention to align personal and organizational values. Brandt, Menswick. Tried this. Answer the following questions to determine if your team is currently in a good position. Are you within range in number, or can you create a sub-team under you? Can you communicate effectively? Do you have the right skills and the correct quantity necessary for team performance? Do you have a broad and meaningful purpose? If you answer negatively to many of these questions, then it's perhaps time to work on your team.